In this video, we will solve mathematics paper 1. This is May-June 2016 and it's the first variant of the paper 1. So let's start with question number 1, which is we have to evaluate this expression given here. So using the Demaz rule, where you do the division, multiplication, and then addition and subtraction. So here we can see that we have division here. So -6 divided by 3 would give you -2. So you replace that value there. So 12 minus 2 plus 4. Then you have to do the multiplication. There's no multiplication here. So then addition. So this is -2, which is being subtracted. So 12 and 4 have positive signs, so they are being added. So 12 plus 4 would be equal to 16 minus 2, and then 16 minus 2 is 14. So this will be your answer. Part B is evaluate 0.3 multiplied by 0.5. So what I like to do is convert them into fractions so that the multiplication becomes a little easier. So 0.3 can be written as 3 over 10, and then I convert this 1.5 into 15 and then divide it by 10. So 15 times 3 is 45, divided by 100. 10 times 10 is 100, and then you get 0.45. You have two zeros in the denominator, so you move the decimal from here to 2 points to the left, and it ends up here. So you get your final answer, which is 0.45. Question number 2 is evaluate 2 over 3 minus 5 by 8. So 2 by 3 minus 5 by 8. So you calculate the LCM of 3 and 8. There is no common factor, so you divide by 3, you get 1 and 8. And then you can divide 8 by 2 to get 4, then by 2 again to get 2, again by 2 to get 1 and 1. Or you could have done, you could have divided by 8 here straight away as well. I was just dividing by the prime factors as we normally do. So the LCM is 2 times 2, 4, 2, 8, 3, 24. So you have 24 as the LCM. So 3 times 8 is 24. So 2 times 8 in the numerator would become 16. And then 8 times 3 is 24. So 5 times 3 becomes 15 in the numerator. So 16 minus 15 is 1 over 24. So your final answer would be 1 over 24. Evaluate 1 over 3 divided by 7 by 9, giving your answer as a fraction in its lowest terms. So I can convert this division sign into multiplication. So 1 by 3 multiplied by, since I converted this into multiplication sign, I have to take the reciprocal of this fraction. So that gives me 9 over 7. And I can cancel this 3 with this 9. 3 times 3 is 9. So 3 times 1 is 3. And then you get 7 in the denominator. So your answer is 3 over 7. Moving to question number 3. So an aircraft leaves at 22:35 on a flight that takes 3 hours and 50 minutes. Find the time when the aircraft arrives. So your arrival time would be equal to the departure time plus the flight duration. So departure time is 22:35 and your flight duration is 3 hours and 50 minutes, and your arrival time would be, so you add let me add the so you add these two. So you get 5 plus 5 0, 5 3 8, and then 22 plus 3 is 25. So your minutes are over 85, so you subtract 60 here and add 1 here. So you get 5, 8 minus 6 is 2, and then you get 26 25. Now your hours are over 24. That means you have moved on to the next day. So you subtract 24 from this. So you get uh, 2 hours and 25 minutes. So you subtracted 24 hours. So your arrival time is 0 to 25, which is basically 2:25 a.m. The next day. The aircraft flies a distance of 3,200 kilometer, correct to the nearest 100 kilometer. Write down the lower bound for the distance. So to find the lower bound, we have to subtract the error value from this distance given. So the error is given by taking 1/2 of the degree of accuracy. So your degree of accuracy is to the nearest 100 kilometers. So you take the half and your error is 50. So your lower bound would be equals to 3,200 minus 50, which is 3,150. So 3,150 would be your answer. Let's move on to question number 4. So a bottle full of liquid has a total mass of 1.27 kg. When the bottle is half full of liquid, the total mass is 900 grams. Calculate the mass of the bottle. So let's say mass of bottle is equals to B. And let's convert everything into grams because I don't want to deal with this decimal here. If I convert this into gram, I'll get a whole number, 1270. So mass of bottle is B grams. And let's say so you're given the mass when the bottle is full, and you're also given the mass of the bottle when it's half full. So you can create two equations and then solve them simultaneously to calculate the mass of the bottle. So mass of the bottle is B grams, and let's say mass of liquid when full equals to, let's call it L grams. So mass of liquid when bottle is full is L grams. So when the bottle is full, your mass would be B plus L, which is the mass of bottle plus the mass of liquid when the liquid is full, which is B plus L, and you're given that this mass is 1.27. So I'll convert it into, so 1.27 multiplied by 1000 would give you 1270 grams. Since we are doing everything in grams, I'll convert this into grams as well. So 1270. So this gives you the first equation, which is the mass of bottle plus the mass of liquid is 1270 grams. And you're also given when the bottle is half full of liquid, the total mass is 900 grams. So when the bottle is half full, your mass of bottle is still the same, right? It doesn't change. So that's still B. But now the mass of the liquid is half because it's half full. So your L becomes L over 2. And this is given as 900 grams. So the mass of bottle plus the liquid is 900 when the bottle is half full. So your liquid's mass is halved here in the second equation. And now we can solve them simultaneously to calculate the value of, we need to calculate the mass of the bottle. So we have to solve for B. So if I multiply the second equation by 2, I get uh, 2B plus L equals to 1800. Let's call this equation 3. And then if you subtract, let me continue here, subtract, so you get 3 minus the first equation. So you get 2b plus L equals to 1800, and then you have the other equation is b plus L equals to 1270, and then you have to subtract, so you change the signs of all these. So 2b minus b is b, L minus L is 0, so they cancel out, and then 1800 minus 1270 gives you 0. 10 minus 7 is 3. I took a carry here, so this becomes 10. So 7 minus 2 is 5, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So B equals to 530. So your mass of bottle that you needed to calculate is 530 grams. So your answer here would be 530. Let's move on to question number 5. It states Stella walks to a park. For 4 minutes, she walks at a rate of 80 steps per minute. For 1 minute, she walks at a rate of 120 steps per minute. Find the mean number of steps per minute she takes. So you know that mean would be equals to total steps taken divided by total time, because we need to calculate steps per minute. So we'll leave the time in minutes. So total time. So total steps, how would you calculate this? So she walks at a rate of 80 steps per minute for 4 minutes. So if she's taking 80 steps per minute for 4 minutes, the total steps taken in those 4 minutes would be 80 multiplied by 4. And then you have to add the second one where she walks 120 steps per minute for 1 minute. So she walked a total of 120 multiplied by 1. So this is the number of steps she took in that 1 minute. And then total time is 4 minutes plus 1 minute, which is 4 plus 1. So 80 times 4 is 320 plus 120 divided by 5, which becomes 300, 440 divided by 5, which is equals to 88. So your answer would be 88, which is the mean number of steps per minute that Stella took. Yeah, so let's move on to question number 6. Write the number in standard form. So standard form is something like a into 10 to the power n, where a is a number between 1 and greater than equal to 1, but less than 10. So you have to basically move this decimal point to the right, so you get a number somewhere between 1 and 10. So if I move this one place to the right here, I get 0.34, which is still less than 1. So I move another point to the right, so I get 3.4, which is correct. And then I have moved 2 decimal places to the right, 1 and 2. So that means I have to decrease this power of 10 by 2. So minus 3 minus 2. So this becomes equals to 3.4 into 10 to the power minus 5. So this will be your answer here. Part B is arrange the following numbers in order starting with the smallest. So we have these 3 numbers that we have to arrange from smallest to largest. So we can convert them to a standard form so that it's easier to compare. And we have already done that for this first number. It's the same as the number given in the first part. So this represented in standard form is 3.4 into 10 power minus 5. For this, I have to move this decimal one place to the left. So this becomes 3.37. And since I moved this to the left, I increased the power of 10 by 1, 10 power negative 5. For this, I have to move this one place to the right. So this becomes 4.2 into 10 to the power. So I move to the right, so I have to decrease the power of 10 by 1. So this gives me 10 power negative 6. So now first you compare the powers of 10. So this is negative 5, negative 5, and negative 6. So straight away you see that this is the smallest of these 3. So I'll write the original number given in the question. So 0.42 into 10 to the power minus 5 is the smallest number. The next one, since these two have the same power of 10, so we have to compare this number here with this. So 3.37 is smaller than 3.4. So this becomes the second largest. 33.7 into 10 power minus 6. And since this is the largest, it's given as 0.034 into 10 power minus 3. So this is how you would arrange them from the smallest till the largest number. Let's move on to question number 7 here. So it says, by writing each number correct to one significant figure, estimate the value of this expression. So we have to write each number to correct to one significant figure. So 29.2 would become 30 because this would become the number at the 10th. So units place is 9, 10th place is 2. So the number at the 10th place would become the first significant figure of 29.2. So we round it up to 30. And then here 8 would be the first significant figure. So 8.17, we round up down to 8. And then here, this would be the first significant figure, which is number 3, the first decimal place. So if you write 0.396 to correct to the first decimal place, that would become 0.4. So 30 times 8 is 240 divided by 0.4. So this is actually 0.4 here. So I can remove the decimal, so I can multiply the numerator and denominator by 10. So I get 2400 by 4 just to make the division easier. And then 4 times 1, and then 4 times 6 is 24, 600. So the value of this expression is 600. So let's move on to the next question. So question number 8 is complete the diagram to make quadrilateral ABCD which has AC as its line of symmetry. So this line starting from A till C, it's not a straight line, but you get the point that this line AC is the line of symmetry. So that means this whole shape ABC on the upper side of the line of symmetry is mirrored as it is below the line of symmetry. So your point D would be effectively the same distance from C down here as B from C, and your point AD length would be the same as the length AB here. So we can use the compass. Let me bring it up. So to have the exact same lengths, we can use our compass to find the exact point where point D should lie. So let me put the compass on point C, and then we can open it up until the length is equals to the length CB, which is somewhere here. And then I can draw an arc here. So this arc, any point on this arc would be the same length away from C as point B is from C. And then to find the point D with relative to A, so we know that length AB would be the same as length AD. So I can open my compass till B here and then draw an arc here. So this point basically gives you the point D. So I can use the ruler here. Just quickly, oops, place it. And then draw the line here. And then again using the ruler, I can draw this line as well, AD. So this basically gives you the point D, and this is basically a kite. Now you can see that B above the line of symmetry is equidistance. Uh, Basically the distance is same from the line of symmetry as this point D from line of symmetry. So it's an exact mirror image across the line of symmetry. both up and down. So let's move on to part B, which is complete the diagram to make a quadrilateral PQRS which has rotational symmetry of order 2. So we know that this cannot be a rectangle because this is not a 90-degree angle. So this shape can be a parallelogram, and we know that parallelogram indeed has order of rotational symmetry 2, which I can quickly show here if you look at this parallelogram. So let's say it's positioned at angle 0 here. Let me just move this away. So this is at 0. And once I start to rotate it full 360 degree, I get the exact shape, same shape at 180 degrees. So this is 1. And then I also get the exact same shape at 360 degrees. So parallelogram indeed has order of rotational symmetry 2. So now what we can do is complete this diagram to make a parallelogram. So again, we'll need to use our compass to get the point S. So PQ length would be the same as length RS. So I can use my compass here to get the length. It's almost equals to Q. And then I can place my compass at R and then draw an arc here where I believe that point will lie. So this is your length RS, and then you also know that QR would be equal to PS. So since we are already centered at R, I can adjust the length of my compass to be equals to RQ here, and then place the compass at point P here, and then I can draw this arc here. So this point is the point S, and then we can simply just place our ruler here to draw this line. So this will start here up till this point, and then I also have to draw PS, which would be this line here. Oops, right here. So this is your parallelogram PQRS. So this point would be S, and parallelograms have rotational symmetry of order 2. Question number 9. The shaded region in the diagram is defined by three inequalities, which are the equations of these three lines. Let me number them. This one is 1, line number 2, line number 3. So one of these is this. Write down the other two inequalities. So line number 2 has a positive gradient, line 3 has a negative gradient, and line number 1 has gradient 0 because it's completely horizontal. So the inequality that we are already given has a gradient of positive 1 by 2. So this has to be the equation of this line. So now we have to find the equation of line number 1 and line number 3. Since this is a horizontal line, the line number 1, it's pretty simple to calculate its equation. The y-intercept is 3, so this would be equals to the equation of this line number 1 would be equal to would be y equals to 3. Since the shaded region is below this line, so our inequality would be y is less than equal to 3. For this line, we have to find the equation, and then our inequality would be greater than equal to, since the shaded region is above this line. So to calculate the gradient, we can get any 2 points that lie on this line. So this line passes through the origin. So 0, 0 would be 1 point. And the other point, we can take this one, which is negative 3 and on the x-axis, and the y value is 3. So for line number 3, the gradient m is equals to the change in y, so we can do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, where these are the points on the line. So we took these 2 points. So y2 value is 3 minus 0, the other value of y, and the 2x values are -3 minus 0. So you get -1 as the gradient. So if you have to write the equation in the form y is equals to mx plus c, where m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept, for line 3, this becomes y equals to -1 is the gradient, so minus x, and your y-intercept, as you can see here, is at 0. So this is basically plus 0, which is given as y equals to -x. And since the shaded region is above this line, our inequality becomes y is greater than equal to -x. So these are the other two inequalities which represent this shaded region. So the next question is, we have to factorize this expression 3xy minus 20 plus 5x minus 12y. So we can rearrange these values so that the two values that are side by side have something in common. Right now, there's nothing common between 3xy and 20. So I can see that if I bring this 12y closer to this 3xy, I have y common as well as 3 common between 3 and 12. So let me rearrange 3xy minus 12y and then plus 5x and then minus 20. Now I can take 3x as common from these two, and then I get y, and then I get minus 4, and then I can take 5 common, which is a factor of both 5 and 20. So 5, and then I'll get x minus 4 in the bracket. Oh, sorry, I have to take 3y common here. And this would actually be, let me just erase this and write it properly. So this is actually 3y that is common, and then x minus 4. So 3xy, if I open the brackets, I'll get 3xy and minus 12y, which is here. So then I can take x minus 4 common. So x minus 4 into 3y plus 5. So that's your final answer in the factorized form. So I can write it here. Let's move on to the next question, question number 11. We have been given a function f of x equals to 2x minus 9. Find the value of f of minus 3 by 4. So f of minus 3 by 4 would be equals to 2 into, you substitute the value in place of x. So you get 2 into minus 3 by 4 and then minus 9. So if you multiply 2 inside, I can actually cancel this with this. So you get minus 3 by 2 minus 9. And then if I take the LCM, which is 18, so I get -3 and -18, which gives me minus 21 by 2. And then I can write it as minus 10 whole 1 by 2 or minus 10.5 as well. So your final answer would be minus 10 1 by 2. Second part is find f inverse of 3. So first we have to find the inverse function. So you're given f of x equals to 2x minus 9. So let's say let y equals to f of x, which means f inverse of y, oops, f inverse of y, if I take f on the other side, f inverse of y is equals to x. So if y equals to f of x, then y equals to, I can substitute the value of f of x here, 2x minus 9. And then if I want to make x the subject of the formula, I take 9 to the other side. This becomes 2x equals to y plus 9, and then x equals to y plus 9 by this whole thing. So y plus 9 over 2. So this is your x equals to y plus 9 by 2. Since x is f inverse of y, I can write it as f inverse of y equals to y plus 9 by 2. And then f inverse of x would be x plus 9 over 2. Now we have to compute f inverse of 3. So f inverse of 3 would be equals to, you substitute x with 3, so 3 plus 9 over 2, which is 12 over 2, which is equals to 6. So your answer is 6. Let's move on to the next question. So a map is drawn to a scale of 2 centimeter to 5 kilometers. Two towers are 9 kilometers apart. Calculate the distance between them on the map. So this is a question of ratios. So 2 centimeter is equals to 5 kilometers. And then you have to find how many centimeters. Let's say it's x is equals to 9 kilometers, which we are given here. Since these are directly proportional, which means if you increase the distance on the map in centimeters, you'll obviously increase the actual distance in kilometers as well between those points on the map. So you cross multiply like this. So you get 5x equals to 18. And then x is equals to 18 over 5, which is 3, and then 5 threes are 15, 3 remaining 30 is 3.6. So you get 3.6. You can also solve this by using like ratios or fractions as well, where 2 centimeters is 5, and then you have to find x centimeters, which is 9 kilometers, which is basically the same. To find the value of x, you'll have to bring this here, which becomes equivalent to this as well. So any of the two methods is fine. On the map, a town covers an area of 4 centimeters square. Calculate its actual area. So we know that 2 centimeters equals 5 kilometer on the map. So 1 centimeter, that means equals to 2.5 kilometer. So I divide by 2 here and I get 2.5. So your conversion is 1 centimeter will equal to 2.5 kilometer. Now you have to calculate what 4 centimeter square would be in kilometer square. So you have to convert. So since it's centimeter square, that means you'll have to multiply by your conversion value 2 times to have the value in kilometer square. If it was 4 centimeter, we would just have multiplied it by 2.5 to get the value in kilometer. Since we are calculating the area, we have to multiply it twice. So 4 times 2.5 is 10 into 2.5, which gives you 25. So 4 centimeter square would be in reality equals to 25 kilometer square. Express the scale of the map in the form 1:n. So we already know 1 centimeter is equals to 2.5 kilometer. So if we want to represent it in terms of 1:n, we need centimeters on both sides. So 1 ratio, if I convert 2.5 into kilometers into centimeters, so you have 2.5, and then this is in kilometers. So if I convert it into meters, I have to multiply it by 1,000. So I have meters now, then I have to convert it into centimeters. So I have to multiply the meters by another 100 to convert it into centimeters. So you'll get 1 ratio. So how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have to move this decimal place 5 times to the right. So 1 time here and then 4 more zeros. So this is 1 ratio 250,000. Let's move on to question number 13 here, which is 3x equals to 4y. We are given a pair of equations, so we have to solve the simultaneous equations. We have to find the values of x and y. So the first equation is 3x equals to 4y. The second one is 1 plus 5x equals to 6y. So we can use either substitution or elimination. I'll solve it by substitution. So from 1, we get x equals to 4 by 3y. So I made x the subject of the formula. So put x in 2, or substitute the value of x in 2. So I get 1 plus 5 into 4 over 3y equals to 6y. So that becomes 1 plus 5 times 4 is 20 by 3y equals to 6y. And then I can bring this 6y to this side, 20 by 3y minus 6y, and I can take this 1 to the other side is negative 1. LCM would be 3. This becomes 20y. So this will be multiplied by 3 as well. So I get 18y in the numerator equals to negative 1. So this 20y minus 18y is 2y. I can take this 3 to the other side. So this becomes equals to negative 3. So y is negative 3 by 2. And then I can substitute y, put this value of y here to get x. So x equals to 4 over 3 into y, which is negative 3 over 2. So these cancel out. This also cancels out. So you get 2 multiplied by negative 1, which is negative 2. So your x value is negative 2, y is negative 3 by 2. Let's move on to the next question. So question 14 is the volume of a sphere is given by this and cone by this. So a cone is removed from a solid wooden hemisphere of radius 3 centimeter. The cone has radius 3 centimeter and height 2 centimeter. The volume of wood remaining is k pi centimeter cube. So you have this hemisphere of solid wood, like it's not hollow or empty from inside, it's a complete hemisphere filled with wood. And then you cut out this cone and then remove it from this hemisphere. So you're given that the remaining wood remaining in this hemisphere after the cone is removed is k pi centimeter cube. So you can find the volume of this hemisphere and full hemisphere using the formula given, and then you can find the volume of this cone, and then if you subtract the two, your answer should equal to k pi, and that should give you the equation that you can solve to get the value of k. So let's start with volume of hemisphere. So that is equals to, so for full sphere is a full sphere, the volume is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So for half sphere, it will be 1 by 2 into 4 by 3 into pi. And r cube is the radius, and you know the radius is 3. So that should equal to 3 cube. So if you simplify this, 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, 3, and this should equal to 3 squared. So you get 3 squared times 2 is 18 pi centimeter cube. Now to find the volume of cone, you have this formula 1 by 3 pi r square h. So you use that 1 by 3 pi, and the volume of the cone, so the radius is the same as the radius of the sphere. So your radius is 3, so you get 3 squared, and the height is given as 2, so you get 2. So that is 3 squared. You can cancel this, and you get 6 pi centimeter cube. So volume of wood remaining, you can find it by subtracting the two values, which is 18 pi minus 6 pi, and you know that this is equals to k pi. So k pi equals to 18 minus 6 is 12 pi, and pi cancel out. So you get k equals to 12. Question number 15 is y is directly proportional to the square of x. So y is directly proportional to x squared, which means y is equals to the constant k times x squared. Given that y equals to 8 when x equals to 4, find y when x equals to 3. So you can first use these pair of values to find the value of k. So y is 8 and x is 4. So you get 4 squared. So 4 squared is 16. So k is equals to 8 over 16, which is 1 by 2. And then you can substitute this value to find the value of y when x equals to 3. So kx squared, and then k is 1 by 2, x is 3. So you get 3 squared, which is equals to 9 by 2, which is 4.5. Next part is P is inversely proportional to Q. So P is 1 over Q, or this gives you P is P equals to K over Q. It is known that P equals to 15 for a particular value of Q. Write down the value of P when this value of Q is doubled. So you're given that for some value of Q, P is 15, which is equals to K by Q. So this is some value of Q which is unknown. Now you're given that you have to find the value of P when the value of Q is doubled. So that means you, instead of having Q here, you will have 2Q. So to keep the equation equivalent, if you are dividing by 2 on this side, you will also divide by 2 on this side. So that gives you a value of 15 over 2, which is 7.5. I think you can also solve this using um, the ratio method, which is P is inversely proportional to Q. So P ratio Q, and then you have 15 for some Q, and then you have to find the value of P for some value 2Q. Since they are inversely proportional, so you will multiply this here and this here. So you get 15Q equals to 2QP. And Q's cancel out, and similar to what you did here, you divide by 2 on both sides, and you again get the value of P equals to 7.5. So you can use the ratio method as well, or if you want to write it as inversely proportional, and then substitute this sign with equal to and have K here. You can use this, or you can use this. Either method gives you the same answer. Question 16 is in the diagram AB, BC, CD, DE are four sides of a regular polygon, and each interior angle of the polygon is 160 degrees. So that means that this angle ABC is 160, which is given. BCD will also be 160. So this angle here would be 160, and then CDE, this angle here, will be 160 as well. So these blue angles that I marked are all 160 degrees. This is a straight line, ABPQR. This CDE is a straight line, and DCP, this is also a straight line. So this, and this are all straight lines. Find the angle CAB. So you have to find this angle CAB. Let me mark this in green here. So since these two sides are equal, this becomes an isosceles triangle, right? So this is also equal to this. So 2 times CAB plus 160 should equals to 180 degrees, because these are all three angles of a triangle. So you get 2CAB equals to 20 degrees, and then CAB is 10. The next part is find the angle CBP. So CBP is this one in red here. Since this is a straight line, ABPQR, we are given that this is a straight line. So this 160 plus this angle CBP should be 180 because it's a straight line. So CBP should be equals to CBP, let me write it properly. So this should be equals to 180 minus 160, which is 20 degrees. So you get 20. The last part is find angle DQR. So DQR is this, DQR, this angle. So to find DQR, what we can do is we can find this angle here. This one would be equals to, since this is 160 and this is a straight line, so this gives you this angle as 20 degrees. And again, this is a straight line here, PCD. So this angle is also 20 degrees, right? So we know angle CBP is 20. So this angle is also, CBP is also 20 degrees. So this gives me this angle here, angle CPB. Let me point it out here. This would be equals to 180 minus 40, which is 140 degrees, right? So if this is 140, then this angle DPQ would be equals to 40 degrees. So since we know that these two angles, and this is an exterior angle, so we can use the property that the exterior angle of a triangle is equals to the sum of the two opposite angles of that exterior angle, which are 40 and 20 in this case. So your angle DQR, DQR would be equals to 40 plus 20, which is equals to 60 degree. Even if you don't remember this property, you can still see that we know these two angles of this triangle. So we can calculate this angle, which should be 40 plus 20, 60, 180 minus 60 is 120. And then this is a straight line, so this angle automatically becomes 60 degree because these two should sum up to 180 because they complete a straight line angle. So these two should be equal. The sum of these two should be equal to 180. So even if you don't remember the exterior angle property of the triangle, you should still be able to calculate this angle once you compute this angle of the triangle. So let's move on to the next question. So question 17 is a sequence of diagrams is made using these counters, diagram 1, diagram 2, 3, 4. You have to complete the table. So basically you're counting the number of counters in each diagram. So 4 in the first, 6 in the second, 8 in the third. So in the fourth they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So sorry, this is the third diagram. In the fourth, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 10. And you can see there's a sequence where each next value in the sequence is 2 greater than the previous value. So you add 2 to the 4, you get 6, you add 2 to 6, you get 8, you add 2 to 8, you get 10. So the next value would be add 2 to 10, which is 12. Part B is find an expression in terms of n for the number of counters in diagram n. So similar to how we solve problems for sequences, you start writing out the sequence starting from the first value. So the first value is 4. The next value is 6, which is 4 plus 2. So you express you write the first number in the sequence, and then you express the next numbers using the first number and then adding something or subtracting something. So you see the difference is 2, so 4 plus 2. The next value is 8, which is 4 plus 2 plus 2. Third value is 8. 4 plus, sorry, this is third value 8. Fourth value is 10, which is 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6, 8, 10. So this is the first value, second, third, fourth. So you see that for each nth value, you add 2n minus 1 times, right? So for fourth value, how many 2's you're adding? 3, which is 4 minus 1. So, and similarly here, in the third value, you're adding 2 twice, which is 3 minus 1, 2. And then so for second value, you're adding just 1, 2, which is 2 minus 1, and then into 2. So what you get is 4 plus, then you add some number of 2's. How many number of 2's? N minus 1. So to get the fourth value, you replace 4 here. 4 minus 1 is 3. So you get 3 2's as written here in the expanded sequence. So if you simplify this, you get 4 plus 2n minus 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. So you get 2n plus 2 here. So the nth term is represented as 2n plus 2. Part C is in this sequence diagram, P has 200 counters. So find the value of P. So that means the pth value in the sequence has 200 counters. So you simply replace n with P. So 2P plus 2 is the pth value, and you're given that the pth value is 200. So 2P plus 2 is 200. 2P equals to 198. So you get P equals to 99. So let's move on to next question, question number 18. So it says that Henry did a survey of the lengths of the leaves on a plant. The results are summarized in the table below. So length with 1 to 3 centimeter, there were 6 leaves. 3 to 4 centimeter, there were 8 leaves with length between 3 and 4. And then 4 and 5, there were 10, and then so on. So when asked to draw a histogram to illustrate the result, Henry drew the following diagram. Explain why this diagram is incorrect. So immediately you'll see that this y-axis is labeled wrong. It should be y-axis should be frequency density, because in histogram you always have frequency density on the y-axis. And then if you see the height of each bar, that is also incorrect. From 1 to 3, your interval is 2, right? So let me just write down interval here. So this interval is 2, this is 1, this is 1, and this is 3. So your frequency density would be 6 divided by 2 is 3, 8 divided by 1 is 8, 10, 6 divided by 3 is 2. So your heights are also wrong. Heights of heights, let me write it as heights should be 3, 8, 10, and 2. So these are the two things that are wrong here. So these two heights are 8 and 10 are correct, but the first and the last height is incorrect. This should be 6. This should be 3. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So this should have been somewhere here. And similarly, this should be this height should be 2 instead of 6. Part B is on the grid below, draw the correct histogram for Henry's result. So we already computed the frequency densities. So we first label this axis as frequency density. And then from 1 to 3, your length is 3 here. So let me mark the y-axis again. 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 10. So between 1 and 2, the height should be 3. So 3 should be here in the middle. So this is your first bar. And then your second bar is of length 8 and width 1. So this would be like this. Your third bar is length of height 10. So this would go up till here. And then your last one is of height 2 from 5 till 8. So This one is like this. So this is the correct histogram for the results that are given. So question 19 is in the diagram, the two circles intersect at P and Q. The line AB is a tangent. So this is a tangent to the circles at A and B. AD and BC are diameters. So this is the diameter and this is the diameter of this circle. BD intersects the larger circle at R. So BD, this line BD intersects the larger circle at R. So that means DRB is a straight line. DBC is given as 40 degrees. Find angle CPR. So CPR is this angle here. So if you look at the two triangles RPC and RBC, these angle at RPC and RBC are subtended by the same arc. So if I draw this straight line here, let's assume that this is a straight line. So this triangle RBC and this triangle RPC are subtended by this same arc here, which is arc RC here. So you know that when two angles of the triangle that are subtended by the same arc, they are equal. So this angle RPC would be equal to angle RBC. So CPR would be equals to 40 degree. Let me erase this line here so it's a little bit cleaner. Okay, so the next part is find angle CQR. So CQR is this angle here. So if you look at the quadrilateral RQCB, so this quadrilateral, this one here, this is actually a cyclic quadrilateral because all four of its points or corners are on the circumference of the circle. R, Q, C, B, all four are on the circumference. So we can use the property of cyclic quadrilaterals where the opposite angles sum up to 180 degrees. So angle RQC or CQR plus uh, angle RBC should equals to 180 degree, and we know this is given as 40 degrees. So CQR is 180 minus 40, which is 140 degree. Although it says that DBC is 40, DBC and RBC are the same angles because this is a straight line. We're given that this is a straight line. So this is equals to 140. Next part is find angle ABD. ABD. So you know that this line is tangent and this is the diameter, or this half length would be this would be the radius. So we know that angle between a tangent and a radius is 90 degrees. So this full angle is 90 and this angle is 40. So angle this one ABD would be equals to 90 minus 40. So ABD equals 90 minus 40, which is 50 degrees. So this would be 50 degrees. Next part is find angle ADB. ADB. So again, this is the angle between a radius and tangent. So this is 90. And we found this angle in the previous part, 50 degrees. So if you look at the triangle ADB, we can compute the angle ADB because we know the other two angles of the triangle. One is 90 and the other one here is that we found in the previous part. It is 50. So the sum should be 180. So ADB would be equals to 90 plus 50 is 140, and then you subtract 140 from 180, you get 40 degrees. So this angle here would be 40 degrees. So let's move on to the next question. Question number 20 is The number of goals scored in each of 50 football matches was recorded. The results are given in the table. So you have frequency and number of goals scored. So there were 16 matches in which there were 0 goals scored, 11 matches with 1 goal in each of those matches. Then there were 9 matches where there were 2 goals scored, and so on. So for these results, find the mod. So you know that mod is basically the value with the highest frequency. So in this case, 16 is the highest frequency. So the number of goals scored, the mod value would be 0 here. So this is pretty straightforward, 0. And then you have to find the median value. So the median value is the middle value. So since this is an even number, you have 50 football matches. So if you want to find the mid value, so mid would be 50 divided by 2, which is 25. Since this is an even number, we have to check the mid value plus 1 as well. So that would be 25 and 26th, 25th and 26th value. So what you do is so your median would basically be 25th value plus 26th value divided by 2. So if you look at the table, what would be your 25th and 26th value? So 0 goals scored, the frequency is 16. So these are values from 1 till 16 here. And then this starts from 17th. So 16 plus 11 is 27. So this goes up to 27. So since we are looking for the 25th and 26th value, both these values lie in this interval where the number of goals scored is 1. So your 25th value would be 1 and your 26th value would be 1 as well. So 1 plus 1, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So your median value is 21. Part C is you have to find the mean of this of the table given. So your mean would equals to total goals scored divided by total matches. So you're already given that the data is for 50 football matches, so your total matches is 50. To find the number of goals scored, you have to multiply the frequency with each value here given in the table. So 16 times 0 is just 0. So 16 times 0 plus 11 matches with 1 goal. That means 11 times 1 plus 9 matches with 2 goals. So that means 9 times 2, so and so on. 7 times 3 plus 6 times 4 plus 5 times 0 plus 6 times 1. So this will give you the total number of goals scored. What we are doing is basically multiplying the goals scored by the total number of matches for each of these columns. So your total value 16 times 0 is 0 plus 11 plus 18 plus 21 plus 24. Again, 5 times 0 is 0 plus 6 divided by 50. So that will give you 80 divided by 50, which is 1.6. So your mean value would be 1.6 in this case. So we can actually write it here, 1.6. So question number 21 is express 500 as the product of its prime factor. So you have to basically factorize 500. So that means we start so this is divisible by 2 since it's an even number. So 2 times 250, again an even number, we can again divide by 2. You get 125. So now it's not divisible by 2. It's not divisible by 3 because if you sum these digits, you get 3 plus 5, 8. Not divisible by 4 since it's not an even number, but it is divisible by 5 because the last digit is 5 or 0. It's 5 here. So you divide by 5. You get 5 times 2 is 10 and then 25. And then again divide by 5. 5 times 5. And then you again divide by 5 and you get 1. So you can represent it as, so there you have 2, and you have number of 2's is also 2, so you get 2 squared multiplied by 5, and you have 5 1 2 3 times, so you get 5 cube. So your answer would be 2 squared times 5 cube. So given m and n, again as a product, m given as a product of its prime factors, also similar for n as well. Find the values of p and q when m times n equals to 2 power p into 3 power q. So m times n, we can write it as 2 into 3 squared. This is your m. And then you multiply it by n, which is, sorry here, 2 times 4 into 3 squared. So you can open up the brackets, you get 2, 3 squared, 2 power 4 into 3 squared. So now you have to represent it in the form 2 power something, 3 power something. So you multiply the 2's together and 3's together as well. So this is power 4, this is power 1. So you're multiplying. So you add the powers. So you get 2 power 5. And then for 3, both are power 2. So you add them, you get 3 power 4. So now you can see here 2 power p, you have 2 power 5. So your value of p is 5. And 3 power q, you have 3 power 4. So your value of q is 4. So next part is m divided by n. So you write m 2 into 3 squared, and then you're divided by n. So you get 2 power 4 into 3 power square. So since you have to represent it in this form, I will take all the values to the numerator. So 2 divided by 2 power 4 means 2 power 1, which is in the numerator, and then you're taking this into numerator, so you subtract the powers, 1 minus 4. And similarly for 3, you have 3 squared and 3 squared, so you get 2 minus 2. So 1 minus 4 is 2 power minus 3, and 2 minus 2 is 0, so 3 power 0. So now your value of p, if you look at this expression, is p is minus 3 and q is 0. Last part is n squared equals to 2 power p 3 power q. So your n value is 2 power 4 into 3 squared, and then you have to take the whole square. So when you bring this power in, you have to multiply. So 2 becomes 2 power 4 becomes 2 power 4 into 2, and then you have 3 to 2, and then you bring this 2 in, which gives you this. So 4 times 2 is 8, 2 power 8, multiply by 3 squared, and then you multiply another 2 here, so you get 3 power 4. So now you can compare these two expressions, and you get p equals to 8 and q equals to 4. So question number 16 is that diagram shows the triangle ABC. You have to measure this angle. Since this question involves loci, let me bring up my geometric tools. So here I have all the geometric tools that I need for this question. So the first part is measure angle ABC. So I'll just use my protractor here and then place it on vertex B here. Uh, right about here. So since I'm starting from this side, my 0 is here instead of 180. And then 90 here, then 100, then 101, and then 102. So it's the second small line here that is overlapping my line BC. So my angle would be 102 here. So 102 degrees. Part B is on the diagram, construct the locus of points inside triangle ABC that are 4 centimeter from B. So since you have to draw the locus from away from a single point, 4 centimeter away from B, it would be a circle of radius 4 centimeter. But since we are only required to draw inside the triangle, so we'll just have an arc of radius 4 centimeters. Sorry. So let me use my ruler here and the compass that I have. So to draw a radius 4 centimeter, I'll have to open up my compass till 4 centimeter here. So that will be somewhere here. Uh, yeah, that should be 4 centimeter. Okay. So now let's place it on this vertex here at B. And since we only have to draw inside the triangle, I'll start from this point and draw the arc up till this line here. So that's part one, which is locus 4 centimeter from B. The next part is 2 centimeter from line AC. So this is AC. Since you have to draw parallel, so you have to draw a locus of points that are 2 centimeter from AC. So that means it will be a parallel line to AC on this side, since we are only concerned with locus inside the triangle. So to draw a line 2 centimeter from AC, I'll use this set square to get a point that is 2 centimeter away at a 90-degree angle. So we know that the set square here has a 90-degree angle. I can use it to just place it parallel to this line. So I'll need 2 points. So I can just mark 1 point here. So that's starting from 0 till 2 centimeters. So 2 centimeter would be somewhere here exactly. So this is my first point, and then I can create another point. Oops, I still have to keep it parallel. Let me just readjust it here. So it's exactly parallel. Okay. Now I can mark another point that is 2 centimeter away from AC, but still inside the triangle. So this is 2 centimeter here as well. So now I have these 2 points that I can connect with the ruler here, and then I should have a parallel line. Let me just it here. Yeah. So we have to draw inside the triangle. So that line should start from the bottom here, and then connecting these 2 dots, and then up till this point. So now the part C, you have drawn the 2 locus. You have to find the point P, which is 4 centimeter from B, 2 centimeter from AC, and nearer to A than to C. So 4 centimeter from B means it lies on this arc length, which is 4 centimeter away from B. And then 2 centimeter away from AC means that it lies on this line, AC. Oh, sorry, this line, which is parallel to AC, since all the points on this line are 2 centimeter from AC. So to satisfy both of these conditions, that means the point P lies either on this intersection point or this intersection point, because both these points are 4 centimeter from B and 2 centimeter from AC. But the question also states that point P is nearer to A than to C. So that means this point, which is nearer to A compared to C. So this would be your point P. Let me label it here. So this point here in the center here would be P. And then you have to measure the length AP. So let me use my ruler again so that I can measure this length AP here. So you have to start with 0 here. So this intersection point is about 6.2 centimeters. So your length AP from point A till point P, which is the intersection of these two loci, is 6.2 centimeters. So I can write it here as 6.2 centimeter. So that's your question number 22. So let's move on to question number 23. So in the Venn diagram, shade the region which represents the subset P union Q complement intersection R. So what we can do is we start with P union Q and build up to this whole expression. So what is P union Q? P union Q is everything that is P or Q. So this shaded region would represent P union Q. Now we have to find the complement of P union Q. Let me mark this in red. So everything outside of P union Q would be P union Q complement. So P union Q would be this whole region P union Q complement would be this whole region here, marked in red. So red is P union Q complement. And now we have to find the intersection of this red region with R. So which part of this red region intersects with set R, which is basically this green region here. That is the intersection of P union Q complement and this set R. So this part is the intersection here that we're looking for. So let me just erase it and mark the final answer since we only have to shade that region only. So your final answer would be this region. Here, you shared this. All right, part B is your universal set is an integer between 22 and 23, including 22 and 23, since the inequalities are greater than equal to and less than equal to. E is a set of even numbers, T is a multiple of 3, and F is a multiple of 4. List the numbers of T intersection F. So let me write down the universal set, which is everything between 22 and 23, including the 22-23 boundary as well. So 22, 23, 24, 25, and everything up till 33. 32 and 33. And then your T is all the numbers, set of all the numbers that are multiple of 3. So if you look at the multiples of 3 here in this set, you have 24, which is a multiple of 3, 27, 30, and 33 is also a multiple of 3. And then F is a multiple of 4. So your multiples of 4 include 24, 28, and 32. So now you have to find the intersection. So which numbers are common between T and F? Only 24 is the common value, so your intersection will have 24. Find the number of elements in E union T. So you already have listed the values of T. Let me list down the values of set E, which are the even numbers. So 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, and 32. So these numbers belong to the set E. So E union T would be all the elements in E combined with all the elements of T, but you don't write the common elements twice. So just write down all the elements of E first. So just copy all these down here and then write down all the elements of T that you have not already written here. So you've already included 24. You cannot include it twice. 27 is not here, so we can write 27. 30 is already here. 33 is not, so I'll add this here as well. So if you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So number of elements in E union T is equals to 8. Given that y belongs to F complement intersection E, find one possible value of y. So you have F here. So let's write down the elements of F complement. That would be all the elements that are not part of F. So you have 22, 23, 24 is part of F. So we skip that. 25, 26, 27, 28 is also there. So 29, 30, 31, 32 is there. Skip that. And 33. And E, you already have E listed here, which is 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, and 32. So you have to find the intersection of F complement intersection E. So you have to basically look for numbers that are common in this and this. So 22 is common here. What else is common between 24 is not, 26 is common as well, 28 is not, 30 is common as well. This is 26. So you have these three values that are part of this set. So you only have to give one possible value. So you can write any of these three. So let me just write 26 here. Let's move on to the next question. So question number 24 is the diagram shows the speed time graph of a train which slows down from 20 meter per second to a stop, which is zero speed in t seconds. Find an expression in terms of t for the retardation of the train. So you know that retardation is given by the gradient, which is change in value on y divided by change in value on x-axis, rise over run or fall over run. So this time is retardation, so the value is decreasing. So your fall is 20. You go from 20 to 0. So this is 20 minus 0, and then your time duration is t minus 0 in t seconds. So your retardation would be 20 over t. Find the speed of the train when t is equals to 3 by 40. So there are a couple of ways that you can solve it. You can directly compute it from the graph, or I'll show you both methods. So first, let's uh, calculate it from the graph. So your this interval here is t. So, and your decrease in speed is a straight line. So it's decreasing at a constant rate. So let me say that this is the midpoint here, which is capital T by 2. So what would be the value halfway through this deceleration? The value would be half 10 here. But you're looking for a value at 3 by 40. So this is 1 quarter T by 4. This is half T by 2. And then this is 3 by 40 here. Oh, let me write it cleanly. So this point here somewhere would be 3 by 4 capital T. So if this is 3 by 40, that means the speed has reduced to 3/4. Speed was half after half the time. So 3/4 of the time, after 3/4 of time t, your speed would have decreased by 3 by 4 as well. So your decrease in speed would be 3 by 4 into, so you started with 20. So your decrease was 4 times 1, 4 times 5, 5 times 3 is 15. So your decrease is 15. So that means speed at t would be, you started with 20, you decreased it by 15, so you're left with 5. So your speed here is 5 meter per second. So you basically directly intuitively found it from the graph, where at half midway point at like this t by 2, your speed was half. So at 3 by 40, your speed would have decreased by 3 by 4th of 20 as well, since this is decreasing at a constant rate. So after time t by 4, it would have been decreased by 1 over 4 by 20, which would have been 15 here in that case. So you basically found it from the graph. If you want to like use mathematical equations, you can use those as well to prove it mathematically. Since this is a straight line, if you calculate the gradient at any point, it would be the same. So you're given that you have found the gradient in this part here, right? Using these 2 points, this point here, which is 0 and 20, and this point here, which is t and 0, you got the gradient 20 by t. So if I used another set of points, another pair of points, let's say I use this point here and then this point here, which is some value s that we have to find at t. So let me write it as, let me write some other value because s kind of looks like 5. So let's label it x. So at this time 3 by 40, your speed is x that we have to find. So this point is 3 by 40 on x-axis and y value is x. So if you look at the gradient, so your gradient is 20 by t, but if I use these 2 points to get the value of the gradient, I will get 20 by t, and then if I compute the gradient from these 2 points, it will be 20 minus x, 20 minus x, and then 3 by 40 minus 0. So change in value in y, delta y is you decrease from 20 to x, and change in x value is 0 to 3 by 40. So your gradient should be, if you use these 2 points to calculate the gradient, it should be the same that you calculated initially, which is 20 by t. So if you solve this equation, you multiply 3 by 40 on the other side, you get Let me continue it here. So 20 by t into 3 by 4t, and then it should be equal to 20 minus x. This cancels out, 5 t's cancel out, 15 equals to 20 minus x, and then x equals to 5. So your value here is 5. I know x is not a good example as well, since it can easily be confused with the x-axis, but this value is on y-axis. So anyways, so this is kind of like a mathematical proof where you use the gradient value, which should be equal at all the points, any pair of points that you use, because this is a straight line. So your gradient value is constant, and you use the gradient calculated in the first part and used this point here at 3 by 4t to calculate the gradient again, and then it use the first value that you're already calculated to compute this x value. So at this point, this is actually 3 by 4t and 5, which you're looking for, the speed at time 3 by 4 capital T. All right, let's move on to part B. The distance traveled by the train between t0 and t capital T is 150 meters, find t. So you know that distance is the area under the speed time graph. So your distance, distance is equals to 1 by 2 into base into height, which is the area of this triangle. So distance is given by 150 here, which is given. 1 by 2 into base is t, capital T, and then height is 20. So this is 20. So this equals to 300 20t, and then this gives you t equals to 300 by 20, which is 15. So your value of t is 15. Last part here of this question is, on the diagram, sketch the distance time graph of the train. So you're starting with 0, 0, time 0, and distance, of course, at time 0 would be 0, and then your final point would be here at point t. You know that you have traversed a distance of 150 meters. So you've traveled 150 meters in time t. So this is your other point on the graph. So this is capital T on x-axis and 150 on the y-axis, because you're given that in time t you traveled a distance of 150 meters. So now you have to connect these 2 points, 0, 0 and t 150. So you now have to decide whether it's a straight line or some sort of curve. So here you're given the graph, which is the speed time graph, and you know that the gradient of distance time graph is the speed. So you can basically sketch the curve using the gradient values. So let's start with t0. Your gradient is maximum at this point, which is 20. And from 0, if you move till time t, your gradient value is decreasing. Your speed is decreasing, which means the gradient of your distance time graph is also decreasing. So what type of curve has a decreasing gradient? Something like this. You start with a maximum gradient here. Oops. Let me just correct it here. So you have a maximum gradient here, and then as you move along, your line starts to become horizontal, and we know that horizontal lines have a gradient of 0. So you have a decreasing gradient for this curve, which is exactly what we want. Your gradient is decreasing, your speed is decreasing. So if this is your distance time graph, your speed would be decreasing. So let me just sketch it here. You start off with a high gradient, and then you start to, oops, let me draw this again. I went above the point. So you start here with a high gradient value, and then you start to decrease, and then it's almost 0 at this point. It's something like this, which is a concave shape here. So that will be your sketch. So your gradient is continuously decreasing, which is given by this graph, which is the speed time graph for this distance time graph. So let's move on to question number 19. So in the diagram, X is the point on AB, and AX is 1 by 4 times AB. So this length, full AB, is 4 times of this length AX. So if this is AX is Q, so ax, so using this expression here, ax equals to 1 by 4 ab, which means ab would be equals to 4 times ax. So if this is q, this whole thing here would be 4q. The next is y is the point on AC where ay is 1 by 3 AC. So if this is P, ay is P, this whole length here, AC, would be 3 times ay. So this would become 3P. Z is the point on BC produced where CZ equals to 2BC. So this length, CZ, is 2 times this length, BC here. AY is given as P and AX is given as Q. Express as simply as possible in terms of P and Q length XY. So since this is related to vectors, so you start with X and you have to end up at Y. So if you start at this point and you have to go till this point, you can take this direction here, this vector in this direction, and then come back down till this point Y. So this is Y and this is X. So this would be equal to minus q because you're given q in this direction. So if you're going in the opposite direction, that becomes negative q. And this remains the same. You're given p. So this will be plus p. So your xy would be equals to minus q. You start from x and your destination is kind of y. So minus q plus p. So you can write it as p minus q as well. So xy would be p minus q. The next part is you have to represent BC in terms of P and Q. So BC is this. So you're starting from here and you want to end up here. So you already know this and this. So you can go in the opposite direction like this and then come back down here till C. So this is 4Q. So the opposite direction you'll have minus 4Q. And then this is, 3P. So this would be equal to 3P. So you can write it as 3P minus 4Q. Last part of part A is xz. So xz is you're starting from here and then you're ending up here. So you've already calculated, let me see here, you already calculated BC. So you know BC is 3P minus 4Q. So 2BC becomes CZ. Let me represent CZ in terms of P and Q. So CZ becomes 2 times BC. So 2 times 3P minus 4Q. So this is this value here, CZ. So now to get XZ, I can start from X. I can go up here, Q, then come down here, 3P, and then go here to Z. So this would be my route here. Let me represent this. So I start from here, X to A, then A down to C, and then this C till Z. So this will be your XZ. So what's the first value? Negative Q plus AC is 3P plus 3P. And then CZ is this 2 times 3P minus 4Q. So let me simplify it. I'll get minus Q plus 3P. 3 times 2 is 6. 6P minus 8Q. So this gives me 8Q minus 9. Minus 8Q minus Q is minus 9Q. And 6P plus 3P is 9P. So you get 9P minus 9Q. So part B is find the ratio XY, ratio YZ. So you've already computed XY in here. You only need the value of YZ to get this ratio. So YZ we can compute. We know XY, we know XZ. So if you start from Y and you have to end up for Z, you can actually go negative xy plus xz. So negative xy means go in this direction yx plus this xz this would give you yz. So yz would be equal to xz minus xy, which is basically yx. So we know xz is 9p minus 9q. Oops. 9p minus 9q, and then your negative xy. So your xy is p minus q, so you minus p minus q. This gives you 9p minus 9q minus p plus q, which gives you 8p and then negative 8q. Now if you find ratio xy ratio yz, xy is p minus q ratio 8p minus q. You can actually take the 8 common, and this becomes 8 into p minus q. And you can cancel this p minus q with this p minus q, and you get 1:8 here. So your answer would be 1:8. Let's move on to the next question. Question 26. So box 1 contains 2 white balls, box 2 contains 4 white and 3 black balls, and chooses at random 1 ball from each box. Find the probability that these balls are both black. So you're looking for a black ball from box 1 and black ball from box 2. So probability of black from box 1 and black from box 2. So since it's and in between, so we multiply these two probabilities. So probability of getting a black from the first box is 0 because it doesn't have a black ball. So 0 multiplied by probability of getting a black from box 2 is 3 by 7, since there are 3 blacks and 7 total. But since you're multiplying it by 0, your answer is 0. Find the probability that these balls have different colors. So different color means that you get black from the first and white from the second, or you get uh, sorry, white from the first and black from the second. So these are the only two cases in which you will end up with two balls that have different colors. So what is the probability of getting a black from the first one? It's 0. And white from the second one is 4 whites over total 7. Or you get white from the first one, which has a probability of 2 by 2, which is 1 times getting a black from the second, which is 3 by 7. 3 black balls and total 7. So 0 times anything is 0, plus 1 times 3 by 7 is 3 by 7. So probability of getting two balls that have different colors, if you pick one from box 1 and one from box 2, is 3 by 7. Part B is from the original contents of box 2. So you have box 2 here. Bell chooses at random two balls without replacement. Find the probability that these balls are both white. So you're looking for white first time and then second time white as well. So you choose white and white. So probability of getting the white the first time is, so you have 4 whites and total of 7. So you get 4 by 7 and then you get a white again. So it's without replacement. That means you do not put the first ball back. So since you have chosen, uh, you have the probability here of getting the white first time. So if you got a white first time, how many whites are remaining? 3. And how many total balls are remaining if you picked one already? 6. So 4 over 7 times 3 by 6, which is simplifies to 1 over 2. So you get 4 by 14, which I can simplify even further to 2 by 7. So probability of getting the white first time and the white second time is, you calculate the first time probability of getting a white, and since it's an and, you multiply it by getting a white the second time. Part C is Carla chooses one of the boxes at random. With the original box contents, she then chooses at random one ball from this box. Find the probability that ball is white. So we can draw the probability tree diagram for this part. So first is Carla chooses box at random. So if you're given a choice at random to choose box 1 and box 2, between box 1 and box 2, you will get half probability of choosing box 1 and then half probability of choosing a box 2. And then once you have chosen the box, then you choose the ball. So black and white, each box had, you know that one, either black ball or white ball. So if you choose in box 1, what is the probability of getting a black ball? Box 1 has no black balls, so this is 0. And for white, this is 2 by 2 or 1. So you have one probability here. But if you have chosen box 2, what is the probability of getting black? It is 3 by 7. And then what is the probability of choosing white from box 2? It is 4 by 7. So now the question asks you, find the probability that the ball is white. So you either end up here, that's that's one case where you'll end up with a white ball, or you end up here, that's the second possibility which can result in a white ball. So probability of getting white equals to probability that you choose box 1 and white, or you choose box 2, probability of choosing box 2 and the white ball in that box. So what is the probability of choosing box 1 and white? That is, box 1 is 1 by 2 and then white is 1. So 1 by 2 times 1, since this is an OR, plus what is the probability of choosing box 2, which is 1 by 2, and then choosing the white ball inside that box, 4 by 7. So box 2 probability is 1 by 2, and then getting a white ball, probability of getting a white ball from that box is 4 by 7. So this is 1 by 2 plus 4 by 14. If you take the LCM, 14, you get 7 here, 7 plus 4, then 11 by 14 is your final answer. So you can make this question a bit simpler by using these probability diagrams. It's always a good idea to draw these when you have to like find the probabilities, starting from choosing something and then choosing something else from that box. So that's how you can solve this problem. Yeah, so I think that's the end of May-June 2016 paper 1 for math.